So here I'll just demonstrate how you do a examination for the respiratory system. Like in this patient, he has come with, he is about 65-year-old gentleman who has come with complaints of having breathlessness off and on for many years. This breathlessness has just increased in the last few days, which has brought him to the hospital. Now, taking his past history, he gives a history that he has been a smoker for many years, smoking about 10 cigarettes in a day for more than 20 years. He doesn't give a history of having tuberculosis in the past. Now, when such a patient comes, how do we proceed examining the respiratory system? The respiratory system has to be begun with first a general examination and then the specific examination for the respiratory system. We do not straight off examine using the stethoscope. We first do an inspection of the patient, especially of the chest. As you would see in this patient, on examining, the first thing that you should notice is the shape of the chest. Right? The normal shape of the chest is such that the transverse diameter is more than the anterior-posterior diameter. In him, as you see, the anterior-posterior diameter is almost reaching the transverse diameter. You can make a bedside assessment using your own hand and see the gap, okay, in the transverse section and as well as in the anterior-posterior. So this would give you a rough estimate. As in him, the anterior-posterior dimension is almost reaching the transverse diameter. In a normal person, the transverse measurement would be more than the anterior-posterior in a ratio of about 7:5. Here it is almost same. So the anterior-posterior diameter is increased, which would suggest that he is having emphysema. The second thing, again, in the shape of the chest is that the two shoulders should be at the same level. As you see in him, the right shoulder is drooping and the chest is not bilaterally symmetrical. This should be symmetrical with this. You see in the right infraclavicular region there is depression of the chest wall. So he has three abnormalities. The anterior posterior diameter is almost equal to the transverse diameter. There is drooping of the right shoulder and there is flattening of the right upper part of the chest. So this would suggest only two things. Either the patient is having fibrosis of the lung, especially of the upper part, or there is a atelectasis or a segmental collapse of the right lung. In him, it is fibrosis. Now, how to prove on clinical examination? The second point on inspection is what we popularly call as trail sign, the sternomastoid of the two sides. Normally, both the sternomastoid would be equally prominent. As you see in him, this requires a little bit of training. As you see in him, the right sternomastoid is more prominent than the left, which would suggest that the trachea is shifted to the right. This is called a positive trail sign on the right. And the cause is again shift of the upper mediastinum to the right side. So with these findings, okay, we can proceed with the examination. Other thing is the movement of the chest. थोड़ी लंबी सांस लीजिए, सांस लीजिए, छोड़िए. Okay, so here's a good movement of the chest. Of course, this you have to corroborate on palpation. Now, after having done inspection, but still relax. After inspection, you confirm those findings by palpation. The first thing to do is to find about the position of the trachea. So, how to examine for the position of the trachea? The index finger and the ring finger is placed at fixed point on the chest, usually the medial end of the clavicle. These bony prominences, you fix it. With the middle finger, you examine the trachea. First, feel for the trachea. You feel the tracheal rings. This is the trachea. Now you see the gap between the trachea and the sternomastoid. you see that there is increased resistance between the trachea and the sternomastoid on the right as compared to the left, which suggests the trachea is shifted to the right. This confirms our finding that the trachea is shifted to the right, which was shown by trail sign. After that, you look for expansion of the chest. You want me to do expansion of the chest? Okay. So, for that, you can do with your own hands. Okay. Anteriorly, you look in the infraclavicular area. Pick up a fold of skin between the thumb. Place the palm firmly on the front of the chest. Pick a fold of skin. Ask the patient to take a deep breath. लंबी सांस लीजिए तो छोड़िए. लीजिए. छोड़िए. लंबी लंबी सांस लीजिए. The left thumb is moving more than the right, which suggests that the left side of the chest is moving more than the right side of the chest. Whereas you do in the mammary region, the movement is almost equal. The expansion is equal in the inframammary area, less on the right infraclavicular area, which would suggest a lesion in the right upper part of the lung. For expansion of the chest from the posterior side, called posterior palpation for expansion. Initially, look for apical expansion. The hand should be put over the shoulder. The thumb should be equidistant from the midline, and ask the patient to take breaths. लंबी सांस लीजिए, छोड़िए. The movement on the left thumb is more than that of the right, which would suggest decreased movement of the right upper part of the lung or the right apex. Then you do an interscapular palpation. Pick up a fold of skin, place the palm firmly on the scapula, and ask the patient to take deep breaths. And the infrascapular palpation or expansion of the lower part of the lung. Okay. After palpation, the palpation is confirmed that the trachea is shifted to the right. The right side of the lung obviously is moving less as compared to the left. Now we confirm our finding with percussion. Anteriorly, first you do a direct percussion on the clavicle and compare it with the opposite side. That's called direct percussion. It tells you about the condition of the lung apex. Next is infraclavicular percussion in the intercostal space. That way you proceed down. As we find here, the direct percussion over the clavicle, right clavicle, is dull as compared to the left. This is called impaired resonance. Very mild impairment of resonance. And then you proceed in the anteriorly as on the right as well as the left, comparing each side. No difference. Posteriorly, you do apical percussion, which is on the shoulder, and you find a band of resonance here. This is connecting the anterior resonance with the posterior resonance. It's called Kronig's isthmus. On the right side, as you see in here, the entire area is dull. So, obliteration of the Kronig's isthmus or dullness in the Kronig's isthmus suggests apical fibrosis. Then you proceed to do in suprascapular percussion. The direction of the finger is away from the patient, over the scapula. Then you change the direction on the left side. So So that was suprascapular percussion. Then you do interscapular percussion between the two scapula. This is the vertebra, between the vertebra and the medial border of the scapula. And then we do infrascapular percussion. So that takes care of percussion of the chest. In this patient, the only finding is that the direct percussion of the right clavicle is impaired, is showing impaired resonance, as well as in the right infraclavicular area. We come in the end, last thing to do is auscultation. When we are auscultating, the first thing we focus on is the breath sound. Normally the breath sound is vesicular in the chest, so we pick up whether breath sounds are heard or not, what is their intensity, and what is the character. The character could be vesicular or in abnormal situations a bronchial breath sound. Thereafter we look for added sounds, which is bronchi, musical sound during expiration, which indicates narrowing of the airways, or we may have crepitations, which usually indicates sudden opening of collapsed alveoli, or sometimes if there is secretion in the airways. So we proceed and see what he has. मुंह खोल के लंबे उतने बड़े नहीं, सांस लीजिए. Then was to summarize the case and to take into account the positive findings on clinical examination. Like in this patient who has come with complaints of breathlessness for a long period of time with intermittent exacerbations and remissions. He has come with an exacerbation right now. He gives a past history of being a smoker. So in such a patient, on inspection, we see that his trail sign is positive. He has drooping of the right shoulder. The movement of the chest is less on the right side, in the right infraclavicular supramammary area, and there is also a depression of this same area, infraclavicular area. On percussion, there is an impairment of the percussion node. The resonance is impaired, and on auscultation we find end inspiratory crackles. This, along with the finding of a positive trail sign and a shifted trachea to the right, suggests that this patient has fibrosis of the lung apex on the right side. Now retrospectively, we have to think why he got a fibrosis of the lung apex. In India, in tropical country, or probably the world over, the major reasons for fibrosis would be a healing process when the patient recovers from tuberculosis. Rarely it could be because of malignancy. Tuberculosis usually involves, especially post-primary tuberculosis, involves the apex, especially of the right lung, which has healed and caused fibrosis. Now he doesn't give a history of tuberculosis in the past. Probably the reason is that the tuberculosis healed its own self. Tuberculosis can heal sometimes without treatment. If the nutrition is good, patient's immunity can take care of it, and he has had a self-healing of tuberculosis which he might have had in childhood. So without a history of treatment, he is cured and he has developed fibrosis which is demonstrable. He has been a smoker, which is causing an emphysematous chest, which is shown by the shape of the chest, which is barrel. The anterior posterior diameter is equaling the transverse diameter. The percussion nodes are resonant. He has an absence of cardiac dullness. So the diagnosis in him is a patient of right apical fibrosis with emphysema due to smoking in the past. The apical fibrosis on the right side is probably due to a healed tuberculous lesion about the patient, which the patient is not aware.